So much comes up for me that when you talk about the root chakra and you talked about my lineage, and that feels a little overwhelming because I'm like, I'm just trying to fucking function in today. Like, I'm trying to fucking get this moment right now. And when I hear you
Yes.
talk about even lineages and lifetimes and things like that, I'm like, oh my gosh. But what you're also saying, I think, and what I'm hearing and what I'm feeling in my body when you say that is that everything I'm feeling right now is like a repeat. It's a pattern. It's a pattern of the lineage. And like if we can interrupt the pattern even just a tiny bit, teeny tiny bit, and have that much more awareness and shift in a little bit of a way, we're already manifesting out of the generational curses or evolution or whatever that means.
Yeah.
Did you
We're
have a
healing our ancestry. We're healing ancestry, before us. We're healing our children's futures as well. It's not just us. I feel like I mean, you and I have talked about lineage and ancestry, and we've talked about it. It comes up often in Yoga Galactica because we're doing a lot of root chakra work, because we're doing a lot of dance movement, and it's associated with the root chakra.
yeah, the
Uh,
kundalini energy, right? The
Kundalini,
kundalini.
absolutely. We do tons of Kundalini. We get barefoot. I mean, all of that stuff just really comes up, and when you start talking about it,
Raise the roof, feet. Raise the roof.
when you start talking about it, I feel the same way. I feel like I'm not just working on myself. I'm working on past lives, on working on my mother's lineage, my grandmother's grandmothers, and I'm also healing, future lineage for. I mean, I don't have any children, but for my sisters and their children and their children's children. So you think maybe you're just, smelling a little bit of oils, or you're just meditating a little bit and you're changing your diet slightly, but you're doing much more than that. And a little bit of everything just really kind of, it's a vortex within the vortex within the vortex. And then all of a sudden, everything just kind of starts to really make a lot of sense. And then you start having better relationships with your family, because that's also associated with the root chakra. And then you start having a better relationship with yourself, and you start having a better relationship with your pets and your neighbors and everyone that's around you. It's beneficial in so many ways. It's not just about meditating is not for everyone. Oils is not for everyone. Mudras and mantras is not for everyone. But maybe one or two or three, like choose one or two of these that just really call out to you, and practice them, and challenge yourself.
Fuck yes. Woo! I love
Absolutely.
that's
The root chakra is hard. I think the root chakra, I've done a lot of Kundalini yoga, and I've done a lot of root chakra work, and chakra work has made me cry so much. And a lot of the times I didn't understand why there was just so much coming, but there was just so much energy that was kind of sitting stagnant, and it was being released in this way, and I felt so much better. I felt happier. I felt more connected to myself. I felt like I immediately wanted to call my mom and see how she was doing. It was really interesting. It was a very interesting work. The root chakra is very interesting. It's a lot of stuff is going to come up. It's not going to be all nice and pretty. It's going to make you very, very uncomfortable, but I mean, why not? Why the fuck not? Why not?
God, we're
Why
living.
now? Why
I'm
not now?
I think what I've noticed and is that people are fucking terrified to feel anything. Do you know?
Absolutely.
And I think that when we are brave enough to like walk into the fires, the flames of the root chakra and those emotions that are being penned away, like there's a huge awakening going on. I think a lot happened in the United States when the Me Too movement started. And like, not to get into politics because I'm not going to go deep into this, but it was an awakening for the woman to like be like, wait, what the fuck? Like this shit has got to stop. And that
Absolutely.
goes through the lineage too. And there's like a lot of different ways that kind of sexual trauma, however got introduced, and really look at that. And like also when we're looking at stuff on the media and we're being triggered by it, I think it's important to also check in because it's usually our safety is being because the fear is being fed and our
Safety
safety,
and security. Absolutely.
yeah, our safety is being ripped away from us, and or it feels that way. It's like all of our things that we thought were safe are being like
Absolutely.
revealed, and so it's
Our
really
money, our jobs.
Yeah, and a matter of like checking in and being like, what's my belief in this thing? What's my belief in this thing? Not what everybody else's belief is in it. And what's that programming? And taking in like those different stories and really checking in with myself and being like, what is the truth? And this is really starting to tap us into our intuition, right? Which is
Absolutely.
so important, I think, in the I mean, it all just gets heightened when we start doing any kind of self work and going back to what you were saying as far as we see that we're helping to heal our families and our families and ourselves, and how you'll notice it in the relationships with your family and the relationship with yourself. But for me, and what I've learned, the most important relationship is the one with myself.
Absolutely.
Like, I've noticed that, loneliness is also another thing. And does that fall into the fruit chakra? Would it, loneliness?
Absolutely. So yes, so an unbalanced chakra is basically a sense of like not belonging, a sense of feeling out of place, and sort of loneliness, some form of depression and anxiety in some form. That those are all ways that the imbalance of a root chakra will manifest itself. Um, I mean, you feel fearful, you feel like security, your survivals, you just feel very ungrounded. It's very, very emotionally unstable, and you feel like you 1 minute you're crying, and the next minute you're laughing, and the next minute you're feeling both of the things at the same time. You're feeling everything and anything, and then you're angry, and you really don't know why. And it's okay to experience those things, every now and then. But if you are constantly feeling very flighty, and you're constantly feeling like you don't belong, and like you're not grounded enough, that you don't know really where you're going, those are all ways that your root chakra can manifest itself in an imbalanced way. So maybe you should look into that. Maybe you should try to meditate. Maybe you should. And meditation doesn't necessarily mean sitting somewhere with your eyes closed. I meditate when I'm driving a lot, and it's just
Dance meditation. I know you and I are like fucking
oh,
dance meditation is
absolutely.